This is Euronews Now. I'm Helena Humphrey, and here are your top stories. Millions are plunged into darkness across eastern Ukraine after Russian strikes on electricity plants amid Kyiv's dramatic counter-offensive operation. Sweden's far right is set to make landmark gains with its best ever election result, though the final outcome from Sunday's poll isn't expected until Wednesday. And the Queen's coffin is being taken to St Giles's Cathedral in Edinburgh, where it'll remain under a 24-hour vigil while King Charles makes his first address to the UK's Parliament.
Ukraine says Russia has launched several cruise missiles, taking out 2 electricity plants and causing power cuts across the east of the country. The blackouts have reportedly affected around 9 million people in regions including Kharkiv and Donetsk. President Zelensky accused Russia of terrorism and of attacking critical infrastructure, not military facilities. The goal, he claimed, was to deprive people of light and heat. Ukraine says the missile strikes are in response to its dramatic counter-offensive in Kharkiv province. Ukrainian forces claim to have recaptured about 3,000 square kilometres since the counter-offensive began earlier this month. Its troops are thought to be only 50 kilometres away from the Russian border. A Russian official in Belgorod region says thousands have fled the Kharkiv region into Russia as Ukrainian forces advance.
Today there are 1,342 people in 27 temporary accommodation centres in the region. We are preparing to send groups of 500, 200 and 50 people to other regions.
Russia's Ministry of Defence said at the weekend it was regrouping its forces from Kharkiv to the Donetsk region just south to focus its military efforts there. The map shown in the broadcast highlighted a major withdrawal of the Russian army from Kharkiv region. Meanwhile, an unnamed Ukrainian prosecutor claims there is evidence of suspected Russian war crimes left behind in liberated villages in the Kharkiv region. Police investigating the deaths of civilians say they may have been tortured.
The last operational reactor at Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant has come to a grinding halt. Engineers shut down Power Unit 6 to avoid a radiation catastrophe as Europe's largest atomic site reconnects with Ukraine's electricity grid. This comes as the plant's reactors were purposely detached from their outside source of power a week ago after heavy shelling. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi has called for a safe zone to be created around the plant to avoid a potential disaster. On the 29th of August, he led a team of experts to Zaporizhzhia in a bid to establish a permanent IAEA presence on the site. The plant has been occupied by Russian forces since the early days of the war.
It's celebration time for the Sweden Democrats, the country's far-right anti-immigration party that's set to send a strong message with its best-ever poll result with around a fifth of the vote. But for now, they can only rely on exit polling as Sunday's election is so close that officials say the final outcome won't be known until Wednesday. It's expected that a bloc of right-wing parties, including the Sweden Democrats, will form a new government to defeat a left-wing bloc that's ruled for 8 years.
We really are now a big party. I am so proud and I'm so glad of what we have done together to achieve this.
With around 90% of the vote now counted, many are anticipating this election will mark a shift towards the right in Sweden and the end of power for the coalition led by Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson.
Now Swedish democracy must take its course. All votes must be counted and we'll wait for a result. In the meantime, let's hope we had a good election, we had a good result, and we had a fantastic campaign. Thank you.
Regardless of who comes out on top, Sweden is likely to face a lengthy process to form a government, as it did after the 2018 election.
Queen Elizabeth's coffin has been lying at rest overnight in the official royal residence in Edinburgh, the Palace of Holyrood House. It followed Sunday's 6-hour-long procession from Balmoral Castle, where Britain's longest-serving monarch died on Thursday. Large crowds had lined the route from Balmoral to the Scottish capital. The same is expected today, when a procession will take the coffin to St Giles Cathedral, attended by King Charles and members of the royal family. The coffin will remain under a 24-hour vigil to allow members of the public to pay their respects. Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, who was among those watching the Queen's cortege pass through Edinburgh, is due to have her first audience with the new King later today. On Tuesday, the focus will turn on Buckingham Palace, where floral tributes continue to be laid at the palace gates. The Queen's coffin is to be flown to London ahead of a 4-day lying in state in Westminster Hall. The Queen's state funeral is on Monday, September the 19th. Meanwhile, King Charles has held his first reception for the Secretary-General of the Commonwealth at Buckingham Palace. Together with his wife Camilla, the Queen Consort, the royal couple received the High Commissioners from the countries of which he's head of state.
In a week's time, the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II will take place here at London's Westminster Abbey. It is expected to be one of the largest funerals in history, with a TV audience into the billions. Over the coming days, though, there will be a lot going on here in the United Kingdom. The Queen's body is currently in Edinburgh, the Scottish capital, where it will lie in state in a cathedral from today for the next 24 hours, where members of the public will be able to queue up and slowly pass by to pay their respects. Then the Queen's daughter, Princess Anne, will fly with the body on a RAF jet down from Edinburgh back here to London, and on Tuesday night it will spend a night at Buckingham Palace before then moving to the Palace of Westminster, where the House of Commons and House of Lords is, to a hall called Westminster Hall. It dates back almost 1,000 years to the Norman invasion, and it is where both the Queen's mother and father laid in state in decades gone by. The coffin will be placed in the centre of Westminster Hall. There will be a 24-hour guard surrounding it, with some of the crown jewels placed on top. And 24 hours a day, members of the public will be able to queue up to process past the coffin to pay their respects until Sunday. Then, as I said, next Monday, the funeral will take place here behind me at Westminster Abbey. It is expected that perhaps over 100 heads of nations and governments will be travelling to London. The streets of London are expected to be packed. There will be millions coming to pay their respects to a Queen who 70 years ago was crowned in this Westminster Abbey behind me, and will have her final public ceremony here before a private burial at her home in Windsor. Vincent McAviney, Euronews, London.
As Australia formally proclaims its new monarch, Britain's King Charles III, the death of Queen Elizabeth II has reignited the Republican debate. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has been previously vocal about wanting the country to have an Australian head of state, but he says not right now.
Well, my views on that, of course, are well known and well documented, but now's not a time to talk about our system of government. Now is a time for us to pay tribute to the life of Queen Elizabeth, a life well lived. So also today we will be, of course, commemorating the proclamation of King Charles III as Australia's head of state. That's the system of government that we have. It's one which, as Australian Prime Minister, I have a responsibility to respect.
God save the King!
New Zealand has also officially recognised its new king. The faraway nations are two of just 15 Commonwealth countries where the monarch is still head of state.
Stay with us, we've got plenty more coming up after a short break.